A very warm good morning to all of you children. Today we are going to cover the most important topic of chapter 1, that is soils found in India. We will go through its origin, its distribution, crops cultivated, soil erosion and different methods of soil conservation which can be used to conserve soil from running water and wind. So let us start with our important topic, soils found in India. The solid fraction of soil is composed of minute soil particles. The size of the particles differ from 0.002 mm or less to 2 mm or more in diameter. The relative size of the soil particles is called soil texture. In texture, we study about its different composition such as sandy soil, clayey soil and loamy soil. Soil structure. It is usually defined as the arrangement of the soil properties. In other words, soil structure connects to that property of soil which expresses the kind of arrangement in which the primary soil particles exist, usually in the form of a certain kind of aggregate. The texture of the soil is permanent property, whereas the structure of the soil can be modified by crop management practices even in a single season. By structure, soil can be found in the form of spheroidal, platy, prismatic, or in a block line structure. Accordingly, it can be very coarse, medium, fine, and very fine. Soils have chemical properties. They are rich in micro and macronutrients. Such nutrients can be iron, manganese, zinc, copper, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, etc. Accordingly, the chemical properties also varies from place to place. In this way, the soils are fertile or infertile. It depends upon the chemical properties present in the soil. The Indian Council of Agricultural Research has divided the soils of India into 8 major types. They are red soil, black soil, alluvial soil, laterite soil, forest soil, alkaline soil, saline soil, desert soils, peaty and marshy soils. Now we are going to study in detail about alluvial soil. Alluvial soil mainly originates by the depositional work of rivers. All the rivers of the Gangetic plains have deposited large amount of sediments and have led to the formation of alluvial soil. Alluvial soil is also deposited through marine action and glaciers. Such soils are highly fertile and suitable for the cultivation of all the crops. The alluvial soil is classified into 3 major divisions according to their zones, such as inland alluvial soil, coastal alluvial soil, and deltaic alluvial soil. Inland alluvial soils are those soils which are found along the bank of rivers. Such soils are deposited during flood in large amount along the bank of the river and its command area. These soils are highly fertile and suitable for the cultivation of all the crops. All the soils found along the bank of river Ganga, Yamuna, Kosi can be example of inland alluvial soil. The next classification on the basis of zonal division is coastal alluvial soil. Coastal alluvial soils are those soils which are found along the coastal area and deposited by the marine action. These soils are also very fertile and suitable for the cultivation of all the crops. Such type of soils are found along the Coromandel coast, northern Sarkars and parts of Malabar coast in India. The third classification of the alluvial soil is deltaic alluvial soil. By the word, it is clear that these soils are deposited in the deltas in the third stage of a river. Large amount of sand and silt are found in such type of soils. They are also saline in nature but very suitable for the cultivation of all the crops because all the minerals are present along with humus. So children, we studied about the zonal divisions of alluvial soil such as inland alluvial, coastal alluvial and deltaic alluvial. Deltaic alluvials are mainly found in Sundarbans Delta, Mahanadi Delta, Godavari Delta and Krishna Delta. The soil found in the Gangetic Plain is classified into Bhangar and Khadar. So children, you have studied that Bhangar is the old alluvial soil while Khadar is the new alluvial soil. It means Khadar is refertiled or redeposited every year during flood. Bhangar is made up of gravel, sand and conglomerate, hence it is not suitable for cultivation. While Khadar is made up of fine silt and clay, hence it is highly suitable for cultivation. Children, you will make a difference between Bhangar and Khadar in tabular form. Now we will study about the presence of alluvial soil in the Dwars, Tarai and Chos region. What is Dwar soil? Dwar soil is the soil which is found in the lower foothills of Shivalik in eastern Himalayas. Here the height of Shivalik is less than 400 meters. So the region is called Dwar. The soil which has developed through alluvium activities in this region is called Dwar soil. Tarai soil is the next soil which is found below Bhabhar belt of the Himalaya. Bhabhar is the gravelled plain which is found at the foothills of the Himalayas, and below Bhabhar is the swampy marshy lowland called Tarai region. The soil is highly fertile and suitable for the cultivation of all the crops. The next soil is Chos soil. Chos means torrents. Torrents are fast flowing streams that appears during monsoon season in the western Shivaliks. This type of torrents are highly active and they deposit large amount of gravel, sand, pebbles, rocks from the Himalayas to the foothills of the Shivalik. Mainly they appear from the Shivalik ranges and predominantly active in Hoshiarpur district of Punjab, where every year the soil becomes infertile due to deposition of large amount of gravel, rocks and pebbles through these fast flowing torrents. Now we are going to study major characteristic features of alluvial soil. Our first point is, it is formed by the depositional work of rivers in the upper course and lower course. Second, it is light and porous, therefore easily tillable or cultivable. Next point, it is a fertile soil and suitable for the cultivation of all the crops because it is rich in potash, lime as well as humus. It is suitable for the growth of a large variety of Rabi and Kharif crops. And last, soil in the drier areas are more alkaline. It has lime nodules at the bottom because lime is present in large quantity in such type of soils. The next category of soil found in India is black soil. Black soil originates by the weathering of an igneous rock basalt. Basalt is an extrusive igneous rock. It has high percentage of ferric titaniferous, hence the soil is black in color. The soil is highly fertile and suitable for the cultivation of all the crops. So let us study about the different names of black soil known in different parts of India. It is called Regur soil because the word Regur has come from the Malayali word Reguda. Reguda means black. At the same time, It is also called black cotton soil because cotton grows well in this soil. It is also called trap soil because basalt is found in intertrappean bed. Intertrappean bed means there are layers of metamorphosed sedimentary rocks in between basalt rocks that had happened during the oozing of volcanic eruption in the Cretaceous period. So lava beds have metamorphosed sedimentary rocks. They are called intertrappean beds, and by the weathering of these intertrappean rocks, the soil which has developed is called trap soil. It is also called in situ soil because it is found in the area where its parent rock is found. See the color of the soil. It looks completely black. Features of black soil. The black soil is black in color due to high percentage of ferric titaniferous and ore of iron. The soil is rich in iron, magnesium, alumina and phosphorus but lacks in humus and nitrogen. The soil forms deep cracks in absence of water but becomes muddy when water is added. The soil has self-plowing quality. It means it retains moisture and suitable for the cultivation of dry crops like millets. The soil is also called black cotton soil because cotton grows well in black soil. It is also suitable for the cultivation of sugarcane, tobacco and rice. The soil is found in the states of Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and parts of Gujarat. Type of soil is red soil. Red soil originates by the weathering of old igneous and metamorphic rocks in the tropical countries of poor rainfall. It is red in color due to high percentage of iron oxide. Let us go through the features of red soil. The term red soil is due to the wide diffusion of iron oxides through the minerals of the soil. Red soils are generally poor in nitrogen, phosphorus, humus, but rich in potash. They are siliceous or aluminous in character. The soil fraction of red soils generally consists of keolinitic materials. Morphologically, the red soils are divided into the cloddy structures, red loams, which have little amount of concrete materials. On the other hand, the next type of the red soil is loose, friable, with high quantity of concrete materials. Red soils cover almost the whole of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, southeastern Maharashtra, eastern parts of Madhya Pradesh, parts of Odisha, Jharkhand and Bundelkhand. They practically encircle the entire black soil regions on all sides. They extend northwards in the west along the Konkan coast of Maharashtra. Besides this, the northeastern states like Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Manipur, Meghalaya have also large amount of red soils. Red soil is infertile soil. But children, you must remember that not a single soil is infertile. Each and every soil responds fertility with the help of fertilizer. So red soil also responds fertility with the help of fertilizer, and it is highly suitable for the cultivation of sugarcane, rice, ragi, tobacco, tea, rubber, coffee, etc. The next soil type is laterite soil. Laterite soils originate in the tropical countries of heavy rainfall, alternating hot and moist periods. The process of formation is called leaching. Leaching is a chemical process in which silica and other minerals percolate into the subsoil and makes the topsoil infertile and acidic. Laterite soil is mainly composed of hydrated oxides of iron and aluminium. Laterization is said to be due to the loss of silica from the soil profile in humid regions where the process of leaching is widespread. It is the in situ decay and decomposition of basalts and other aluminous rocks under warm, humid, and monsoonic conditions, which is thought to be responsible for forming laterite soils in India. Laterite soils are deficient in nitrogen. Humus is absent except in the laterite developed in the forested areas such as western Karnataka. Laterite of high level areas is poor and least retentive of moisture and is sometimes barren. However, in low-lying areas, regular addition of soils washed down from the neighboring high areas hinder laterization. In such tracts, therefore, the lateritic soils, being loamy or clayey, are fertile. It means fertility depends upon the higher elevation to lower elevation in which they are deposited through different agents of erosion. Lateritic soils are chiefly found on the summits of the hills of Karnataka, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, the eastern Ghat regions of Odisha, Maharashtra, Assam, and Malabars. It has largest area in Karnataka. Small patches of laterite soils are also found in Madhya Pradesh and scattered areas of Odisha. A long strip of laterite belt is found in Meghalaya. So India has two major areas under laterite soil. They are western strips of Western Ghats in Karnataka and upper Meghalaya. Laterite soils are mainly suitable for the cultivation of tea, rubber, coffee, and spices. Besides this, food crops can be also cultivated, such as rice, ragi, maize, fruits and vegetables, and so on. Mountain soils or forest soils. Such soils are mostly found in forests and mountains and occur along the slopes or in depressions and valleys in forested regions. Their mode of formation and character is controlled by geology, topography, climate, vegetation of the mountainous regions, and other factors. Such soils have a high content of organic matter and nitrogen and generally show a great range in their chemical and mechanical composition. Forest soils are deficient in potash, phosphorus, and lime. Fertilization of these soils is a must for good crop production. Such soils are found in Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, and Malabar Hills, Jammu and Kashmir, Karnataka, Manipur, etc. These soils are highly suitable for the cultivation of tea, coffee, tropical fruits, and spices. Besides this, wheat, maize, barley, etc. can be cultivated. The fertility of the soil decreases from the summit of the mountain towards the valley. It is highly fertile in the valleys but less fertile on the hill slopes. The next soil type found in India is the desert soil. Desert soil is the result of prolonged weathering and erosion of different types of rocks in the dry climatic conditions. Wind is the main factor behind its formation. It cuts the rocks and deposits them in the form of sand in a plain area which are devoid of natural vegetation except few thorny bushes, plants and scattered trees. Distribution of desert soil. Children, in this map of India, you see the parts of Rajasthan is mainly covered with desert soil. It lies between Indus and the Aravalli river. It is also covering parts of Punjab, Western UP, Western MP and Gujarat regions. Children, you can see the composition of desert soil. The upper mantle of the soil is covered with sand, so it is unfit for the cultivation of crops. It is rich in sandy particles, rocky fragments and number of unwanted materials. So it is coarse in nature and alkaline and has high percentage of salts in the form of phosphates and nitrates. Poor inorganic matter is found in the soil, so fertility of the soil can be reclaimed with the help of proper irrigation and use of green manure. The next soil type is saline and alkaline soils. It is mainly found in the arid and semi-arid areas of India, in the region of Rann of Kutch, parts of Rajasthan and swampy marshy lowlands. Saline soils are those soils which contain toxic concentrations of soluble salts in their root zones. The soluble salts mainly consist of chlorides and sulfates of sodium, calcium and magnesium. The salt is precipitated on the surface through capillary action. Now, what is this? Looking like skeletons. But children, they are lime nodules which are deposited at the bottom layer in the desert soil. It is also found in saline soil in the semi-arid area. Such lime nodules have high concentration of limestone. So, what type of soil is this? Children, this is desert soil. You can see it can only support xerophytic vegetation. Can we cultivate any crop in desert soil? Of course, yes. We can cultivate most of the crops with the help of proper irrigation, such as pulses, spices, millets, and even fruits and vegetables. I told you in the beginning, not a single soil is infertile. Every soil responds fertility with the help of fertilizer. Now we are going to study types of soil erosion by running water. The first form of erosion is rill erosion. Rills are the small channels of water which appears after rainfall, and such channels have capacity to erode the land deeply, and the type of erosion is called rill erosion. When number of rills join together, then there is formation of gullies. Such gullies makes the land fragmented and unfit for cultivation. The gullies are deep trenches formed by the combination of several rills. We also call it badland or ravine land. The next type of erosion which is quite common on the barren land is sheet erosion. Sheet erosion means complete top layer of the soil is washed away during heavy rainfall. You can see the erosion through the color of the rainwater. The next most important type of erosion which is evidenced in the river valleys is stream bank erosion. River cuts her bank bit by bit during the flood season and the erosion takes place. So this type of erosion is quite common in Bihar. Another type of erosion which is found in the mountainous area is slip erosion. Slip erosion is the result of heavy rainfall in the mountainous area where the topsoil is thin and the bottom layer is hard, impervious. So due to hydraulic pressure, the topsoil is washed down the bottom due to pressure exerted by water or hydraulic pressure. This is called slip erosion. So in one line you can write that slip erosion is the result of the hydraulic action of water found in the mountainous area in which the topsoil slides down the bottom. It is called slip erosion. We are going to cover the last unit of the chapter, that is methods of soil conservation. We can practice several methods such as afforestation, contour plowing, contour bunding, strip cropping, cover planting, etc. So I think you know about all these terms. Like afforestation is the process in which trees are planted along the hill slopes, railway lines, roadsides, parks, gardens, etc. Contour plowing is the method in which the hill slopes are cultivated like contour lines so that the rainwater could pass through each successive contours. While contour bunding is the process in which the hill slopes are converted into barriers, means bunds are constructed. Bunds means a barrier along the side of the field to stop the flow of running water. The next is strip cropping, in which long trees or bush-like trees are planted so that they can stop the velocity of wind and running water. Accordingly, we call it wind strip cropping and water strip cropping. The last is cover planting, in which certain grasses are planted to hold the soil tightly. Example, there is a grass called Japanese legume kuju. It is planted along the bank of rivers, along the canals, along the hill slopes to control erosion. So children, we have covered this chapter and this unit. So see you with the assignment topic in the next class.